Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this How to Develop a Business Model seminar sponsored by the VSU Center for Entrepreneurship and the Minority Small Business Launch Center. Just want to admit a few of the people who are in our waiting room. My name is Dr. Patrice Perry Rivers. I am the director of the VSU Center for Entrepreneurship and the principal investigator of the Minority Small Business Launch Center program that's being administered here at VSU because of our grant from Go Virginia to spur economic development in the Richmond metropolitan statistical area. I am an associate professor in the College of Business, an associate professor of strategic management, and you can find out about all of my credentials there, but I went to UVA and Rutgers, and I'm happy to be serving in this role at VSU. If you are not familiar with our Minority Small Business Launch Center program, I would like to share with you a very brief video. It's only about 1 minute and 40 seconds that tells you about the services that we offer for enrollees. I'd like to just make sure that I'm sharing my sound. And please make sure you let me know in chat if you're unable to hear this. A little bit about our project. We are an entrepreneurship pre-accelerator that's intended to increase the entrepreneurship participation rate in the Richmond metropolitan statistical area, and we offer an array of business development, training, and services to help current and prospective small business owners grow. And we are supported by an array of regional partners, including chambers, entrepreneurship support organizations, municipalities, banks, the SBA, the SBSD, and other higher ed institutions throughout the state and in our region. We are thrilled to be with you today, and we are going to briefly discuss business models. So simply put, a business model is a plan or a diagram that's used to make or describe something. For you, it's going to be a plan or a diagram that's going to demonstrate how your firm competes. It's going to talk about the resources that you have and the way that they're used in your company. It's going to give an understanding of the relationships that exist between structures in your firm. How you interface with customers is going to be described, and how you create value and sustain yourself is going to be described in your business model. So the term business model is used to include all the activities that define how your firm competes in the marketplace. But what I want you to see it as is a simplistic articulation of what you do and how you do it, that you be able to convey both orally and in writing in short form, so that investors, so that lenders, and so that even your customers understand who you are and what you do. So for an example, we have Dell here. And so even though that's a much larger company than some of you are thinking about starting right now, you're able to really understand a business model by really conceiving of Dell's business model and comparing it to business models for other companies that exist in their same industry. This is an illustrative example of Dell's business model, which you're able to see here on your right, compared to the business model of a traditional manufacturer of computing technology like Hewlett-Packard or IBM or even Lenovo. Typically, what would happen with the traditional manufacturers is that they would obtain their subcomponents from their suppliers. They make basic components, assemble these PCs, store them in their warehouses, ship them to retailers. They would sit in the retailer's shelves until they were sold, and then they would get into the hands of their consumers. And really what they do before they establish how many of the units that they were going to produce is that they would forecast demand so that they could reduce their inventory holding costs and reduce the expenses that they invested in manufacturing so that they didn't ever exceed their projected demand. Dell, when they first started out, had a different business model. We do know that now we're able to purchase Dell computers from our brick and mortar stores like Best Buy and the few Radio Shacks that still exist, and from Office Max. But what Dell still does, and what they did initially primarily when they started, is that their business model was different. Customers would place their orders for computers via the phone or the internet. They would contract with these manufacturers who would instantly view the order information and ship the component parts necessary for Dell to then assemble the computers from the component parts as they arrived, and then maintain customer relationships. They were able to communicate the status of your build when you went to your site or when you contacted them. And then the computer would be shipped directly to customers via UPS or FedEx, and then it would be in the hands of consumers. So even though these two types of companies, or let's just say these two companies, Hewlett-Packard and Dell, have nearly identical products, or very, very, very similar products that would serve the same consumer need, they had different business models. They had different ways that they went about creating their products and services, interfacing with their customers, and different relationships between the structures and their value chain functions within their firm. Having a clearly articulated business model is very important, because it's going to do the following. It's going to serve as an ongoing extension of your feasibility analysis. That's why in the small business launch certification program that we've created here for you guys to access from VSU, understanding your business model and writing your business model is a foundational part of it. Also, the Startup Virginia training focuses on the business model canvas, which is a tool that can enable you to write an effective business model, which is very useful in pitch competitions or in short communication timeframes when you need to be able to articulate to an investor or a banker or even a potential customer who you are and what you do and why you do it. Your business model is going to really focus attention on how all of these different elements of your business fit together as a congruent whole, how they work together in order for them to enable you to be who you are, produce what you produce, and get it into the hands of the customers that you've identified. And it's going to also, as I indicated, be something that is going to be effective for articulating your core logic to all of your stakeholders. One thing that I want to go over with you is this business model canvas. The business model canvas is a tool and a process that was developed to enable small business owners and even large firms to write their business model. What I've attempted to do is to condense it and to simplify it so that it's something that's accessible to small business owners, because I think that you in particular need to have a very clearly articulated and understood business model, because it centers you and it also enables others to understand who you are, since you're often seeking funding. So the way that I would describe the business model canvas tool and utility. And the way that I've tried to simplify what they describe as a business model is I'd like to call it a brief visual or narrative summary that depicts the moving parts of your business and how they all work together for you to achieve your company's outcomes, which is always going to be profitability. So a business model is going to answer several questions for you. So the first thing that you're really going to need to answer is, what value does my business offer customers? Who is my target market? That's really clear, because the value that you offer to your customers is obviously going to be based on what their needs are. What their needs are based on research, their needs are based on maybe what they have articulated to you. So your target market needs to be very clear, because they're central to your business model. And then what do your customers expect of you? Because who your target customers are is going to dictate how they expect for you to interact with them. And when I say not just who they are in terms of demographic characteristics, but even in large extent, how they are, what are their motivations? What are the psychographic and behavioral factors that are going to drive them to purchase your product or service. In your business model, you're also going to need to think about how you get your information to your consumers, and then how they're going to get their products. So your marketing and then your distribution is something that you're going to want to be able to have thought about and articulate in your business model. And then any other core and key activities that are unique to your business model to make your entire business processes come together. And so it's really important for you to think about these key elements: value that you offer your customers, who your target market is, what they expect of you, how you're going to market to them, and then how you're going to distribute your product to them. These are key factors for you to consider when you are writing your business model. The business model canvas goes into more depth into some of the different elements that I've just articulated to you above. Customer segments, you want to think about really who in particular you're going to reach. It's important for you to not have a customer base or attempt to reach a customer base that you haven't really thought well about. You want to know exactly who you're trying to reach. You want to know what their special needs are. Even if you do have a mass market, then there's usually going to be some sort of value proposition that makes even the mass market attracted to your product. But your customer segments is central to your business model. Your business model is going to start with you identifying them. Your value proposition, your customer relationships, and then your marketing channels, and then any key activities, resources, partners, revenue streams, and unique factors about your cost structure are going to be relevant to your business model. I have a sample business model that was written, a very in-depth sample business model that we provide that's based on the business model canvas template, so that you guys could use this in an executive summary for a strategic plan if you've been operating for some time, or in your initial business plan if you're writing it for the first time. And then this goes into detail for almost all of the elements that are listed above here in your business model canvas. But what I have also done for you guys is we have created something that is an abbreviated business model template, so that you guys will be able to create a business model with just your focus on these key questions that you need to answer. And we have put it in our business launchpad template that you're able to use as your pitch deck in order for you to compete in your pitch competitions, or even if you're trying to use this to be able to quickly and in a summative form articulate your business model to a banker or a funder or an investor. So what we've done is we've created this list of questions that you answer. And then I know it sounds as if it's just so simplistic, but what I have firms to do is actually just go through this list of questions and just answer them in a full sentence or two for each of the questions. And then what you're able to do is to delete these questions, and you're able to come up with a really effective business model. And I'm going to give you an example of a couple of student and VSU Center for Entrepreneurship firms that have used this, and they were able to actually come up with some very concise business models just by using this question set that we provide. So the questions that we provide, and I'm going to make them larger for you here, is you need to answer, what are your products and services? What are your revenue sources? And what are their unique characteristics? You want to answer that explicitly. My company's products and services are this, 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 and this. And they have these features and they have these unique characteristics. And then what you're going to want to answer is, what is the basis of your company strategy? This might seem complex, but I want you to just read what we have in the business model narrative summary slide, because it's not difficult to understand. It might be novel to you, but it's not difficult. In strategy, we talk about there being three generic business level strategies, right? And those three business level strategies are going to be cost leadership, where you are focused, your entire business model is focused on affordability. You want to be the least expensive option for people that are interested in your product. So you can think about companies that have business models that are centered on that. A company like Dollar Tree, Walmart seems to be migrating away from that to some extent and focusing much more on convenience, but certainly Dollar Tree would have a cost leadership strategy. You could even think of very focused products that have a cost leadership strategy, like NYCE or Wet n Wild, which are cosmetic companies that have the cheapest options that are available to female consumers when they go into generic department stores like a Target or a Walmart. So cost leadership is going to be the first option that you can choose as the basis for your company's strategy. The second option that you can choose from is differentiation. And differentiation is when the strategy for your firm or when your business model is based on product distinctiveness or some other basis of quality or reliability. And that's still, quality and reliability are going to make your product distinct. Or it could be product range, where you have a number of different products in your portfolio that are appealing to a differentiated set, a wide range of customer targets. So a second core business level strategy that you could choose from or basis for your business model could be differentiation. An example of differentiation would be like Toyota. Toyota's differentiation strategy is going to be based on product range, where they have a number of different products in their portfolio. I know in a previous session that we had earlier today, then a small business owner mentioned that she had some lotions and some salves, and she had some I'm not exactly sure of all of her product range, but I'm going to elaborate on what a company like that would typically offer. She might have lotion, she might have some creams, she might have some natural or holistic medicinal sort of balms that people could use on their body. And so in that case, then you're talking about a range of different products in your portfolio. A company that's going to be based on differentiation with product distinctiveness or quality or reliability, you could think of maybe a firm that just has, one or two or three products, not a wide range, and they're just focused on it being the best option, the most affordable option, the most distinctive option for people in that category. You could think about maybe like a Five Guys or Whataburger, where what you have is you just have a particular type of product. You've got a hamburger that is a very tasty hamburger that's a very high quality hamburger. And so it's something that your target customers are going to be interested in. So you can have a strategy or business model that's based on differentiation. And then lastly, you can have a focus strategy. And oftentimes small businesses will have a focus strategy, but then your focus strategy can either be one that is a focus differentiation strategy, where you focus on one or more specific target customers, and then you have a range of products that just appeals to them, or just a unique product that's distinct that appeals to that group. Or you could have a focused cost leadership strategy, where you again are still focused on one or more very, very specialized target groups, but your entire strategy is going to be based on affordability. So technically, that first example that I gave you on NYCE lipstick, because they only focus on women or products for women, would actually be a focus strategy or focus cost leadership strategy. The other question that you're going to want to answer, and these are going to be more accessible and simplistic for you to answer, is what value does my business offer to customers? Am I available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week if I am a gym where you can just walk in? Do I have a really high quality product that people can expect to access? Do I have a product that's going to solve, eczema or some other skin condition needs, etc.? So you need to think about what is the specific value that your business offers customers, and then you want to articulate that in narrative form in a couple of sentences. And then you want to think through again how your company itself and your entire product portfolio is unique. You're going to need to be able to articulate and identify who is my target market and where are they located. So who is my target market? Not just women. If you have a nail shop that's going to be in Chesterfield and you're only going to operate in a specific zip code, and we know that people tend for those sorts of personal services to focus their efforts locally, then you wouldn't just say that your target customers are women. You would say my target customers are women that are located in these specific zip codes or in these specific cities or enclaves that could be within a city. And then you're going to want to also add some other characteristics to your target customer. So you're going to want to think about demographic characteristics. You want to think about lifestyle, behavioral, or psychographic characteristics. You're going to want to think about gender. When we talk about demographics, you want to think about gender, but age range and perhaps even income level. So if you have an upscale nail salon that's going to be located in Chesterfield County, that is in or nearest to these zip codes, then you're going to want to articulate that your target customers are going to be women that have higher than average household median income that are located in these areas. And then you're probably going to want to add an age range. It wouldn't be perhaps women that are between maybe 18 and 24. It might be women that are between 25 and 54 because you're going for a more upscale target and people have had the chance to accrue money. The bottom line is that you want to think very specifically about who your target market is, what their specific characteristics are, and of course, their geographic location. What do your customers expect of you? You're going to want to articulate what's unique about you. When we think about companies like Apple as opposed to Samsung, I know that I'm going to get a better customer experience if I purchase a product from Apple than perhaps I would get from Samsung, even though I know people that are Apple people tend to be very loyal, but for all intents and purposes, for people like me that are focused on utility, they're very, very similar products, right? But with Apple, they'll be able to say that we have a high level of customer responsiveness and we have places where you can go to get tech support. We have people that are available that are specifically trained on how to give you direction on how to use, access, and optimize, right? All the features of your Apple devices. And so if you have unique characteristics about your company that are going to distinguish you from others that are centered on customer responsiveness, then you'd articulate that in your business model. And then you're going to be able to articulate or need to articulate in your business model simply how you get your product to your customers and how you market them to them. What I've also tried to do for you guys here is to just give you something that's called a business model visual summary that focuses on these key elements of your business model: your core value and your products, your target customers, and your distribution plan. So let's just go back to that example of this nail salon. I could have chosen any one, but let's just say I've got a high-end nail salon that is in the Chesterfield County area. I would say that my core value and products would be pedicures and manicures using gel, and that maybe use all organic and natural products. or have all organic and natural ingredients rather. And maybe you offer some sort of unique long-term designs for nails. I don't get my nails done. I don't get my nails regularly manicured, but I'm just giving you guys an example of some ways for you to articulate your core value and your products. You've got these unique designs, and then you have these high quality, safe, natural ingredients, right? And then your target customers, you would say women between the ages of 25 and 54 in Chesterfield County, or women between the ages of 25 and 54 in the Tri-Cities area, or women between ages 25 and 54 in this specific or these specific zip codes, and your distribution plan. And so, there are a lot of different ways that you can be this nail salon. You could be a mobile nail salon. Hence, you'd have an entirely different business model than traditional nail salons, where you actually go, you have scheduled appointments, and then you go to clients' houses for you to offer this service, or you have a mobile van to offer these services, or you have an upscale location in one of your moderate to high-end shopping centers. But your distribution plan, how you get your product and or services to your customers, is what you would summarize here. And what I'd like to do is I'm going to stop sharing my screen very briefly, and I'm going to give you guys an example of a business model that was developed using that very simplistic and abbreviated business model PowerPoint that I just showed to you guys. Just give me one moment while I pull that up for you. So I want you to see how this can end up being a very clear and very simplistic business model. I'm going to actually try to go back and forth between the simplistic questionnaire that is provided, and then I'm going to show you what was actually created from it. And I actually didn't have them do anything but delete the questions and to make some natural narrative linkages in order for it to flow well. So what are your products and services, and what are their unique characteristics? What value does my business offer customers? How is my company and my product portfolio unique? Who is my target market and where are they located? What do they expect of me as my customers? How do I get the product to my customers? How do I market to them and service them? Well, this is a plan that was written for a prospective company called Backport. And here we're going to read this business model, and we're going to be able to envision exactly who Backport is. Let me make this a little larger for you. We are a technological backpack company that provides, as of now, one core product, a smart backpack with a built-in massager, charger, and speaker that has thermal straps and is made of waterproof materials. You see the detail in what are the core products and what is the core value that is offered, right? So they talked about thermal straps and waterproof materials. We will sell our Backport bags to middle through high school students, college students, athletes, and working professionals with college degrees in the US. Clear target customers. So yes, they had a very large market, and it was outside of, much larger than just a single state boundary, but they're very specific. They say middle to high school students, college students, athletes, and working professionals with college degrees. Again, people that would need to be able to charge their technology devices and value things like speakers and thermal straps made of waterproof materials. But very specific target customers with a specific geographic area. Again, it's not a very small geographic area in this case, but in the US. They don't say that they're selling their products throughout the world. Though there are competing companies that already partially meet our customers' needs, these options fail to deliver solutions to problems like phone charging and shoulder pain. So now what we're doing is we're getting to the unique value that their product offers and its distinctiveness. The world needs our product because it is a unique product offering and a convenient solution that nobody else has to offer. A little bit of redundance there, but again, an attempt to convey what they have that's unique. The Smart Pack offers a product that is essential to the needs of a lot of people, being able to charge cell phones. We will promote our product through social media and billboards, and we will distribute our products via shipping directly to consumers from our online store, via distribution to large general merchandise and technology retailers, and through pop-up shops we create during the Christmas season. So in this business model, we see very, very specifically what their primary marketing strategy is, what are these primary marketing channels that they're going to use, and exactly what their distribution strategy is. They went into better detail, I think, even in their distribution than they did on their marketing. But they talked about distributing through direct shipping to consumers, through their online store, general merchandisers, and then pop-up shops. So this is what a business model looks like. So they could say this and remember most of this when they were conveying it to others in an elevator. They certainly be able to summarize this in a pitch competition. If they were able to provide something like this in a pitch competition, it would be able to provide a very clear and simple yet illustrative model of what their business model that would distinguish it from the other companies that are like it, that may be in the pitch competition, and other companies in general. So this is the basics of what a business model is. I know I don't have a lot more time. We're supposed to end this session at 2, but I did want to open this session up for questions.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Yes, go ahead.
James Willis.
Sure.
Yes. The view, what you call it, the PowerPoint that you just used, would we be able to get a download copy of that? I see you recording
Yes.
it.
You are. You actually, when you sign up for the VSU Small Business Launch Certification Program, this is actually one of the modules. Most of the modules in that training are available based on your completion of previous modules, but this one is available immediately. As soon as you sign up for that certification program, you can actually skip to this module and access it at any point. And I wanted to give you guys just a highlight of some of the other things that are included inside of this. You can get a cover page that obviously you're going to want to customize and use for other and make it your own. But here's the contents. You have this business model summary. You have a place for your top management team, your core products, your target market, a summary of your competition, a description of the market needs you fulfill, an abbreviated marketing communications plan, and a summary of it at least, a distribution plan, an operations management plan, your financial plan. So this is where you actually are going to be able to pop in your profit and loss statement, and then perhaps even your operating expenses budget, and then your feasibility assessment, which helps you decide whether or not this business is a go, a no-go, or a wait to improve. When you go throughout this template, then you're able to see how you can just customize it, but it prompts you to enter information and gives you some basic structure for putting things here, like for your top management team, your core products and services, target market size, an example of you actually being able to specifically identify your target market size. When we talk about target market, it focuses your attention on all of these different factors that you're going to want to be able to describe about your target customers: demographic, psychographic, behavioral, geographic, and then a quantity of your target customers. The reason that you're going to want to estimate the quantity of your target customers is obviously so that you can do some forecasting and some sales estimations, right? And then you're able to, we even have a slide where we kind of give you an example of and force you to say, these are exactly where our customers are and where they're located based on what you came up with here. just a place to make sure that you identify all of the companies that are direct competitors with you. These slides can be duplicated, obviously, or copied. And if you got more than 2 different competitors that you think you should analyze because of the threat that they pose to your business, a slide that prompts you on what to write for the market needs you fulfill, a little chart where you can enter in your marketing communications plan. We give you several choices for your distribution plan, where you typically, very few firms nowadays have this really long, elaborate distribution plan where they manufacture, then send it to distributors, then to agents, retailers, and to customers. We give you guys all of the abbreviated distribution plan with, from the 5 all the way down to the 2 levels. So you could have manufacturing, distributor, retailer, customers. You could also just make your product or offer your service and then make it available to retailers and then it gets to customers, or you could just go direct to customers. And this would be the distribution plan that you choose. We have you figure out your legal form. We give you some sample organizational charts that kind of give you some to choose from that are based on the way you think is best to structure your company. And then you have the exact Excel spreadsheets that are available in your business launch pad, certification training documentation that you get when you go through the training programs that you're able to pop in here. So your operating expenses budget, you put it here, your cost of goods sold worksheet, which almost everybody skips, but it's very important, especially if you have a product-based business. And then you're able to take information from those spreadsheets and then you'll put your cost of goods sold, your net, your operating expenses here, and then your estimated net sales based on you kind of figuring out how large your customers are and then what the prices are that you're going to sell your target products, your core products and services for that you sell to them. And then you're able to come up with this profit and loss statement. So this is a really straightforward business pitch template. And then when you're using it for the pitch competition, then you could kind of delete this slide that talks about the feasibility of your business, but this links directly back to the VSU Small Business Launch Certification Training, where you actually assess, your money, your market, and your management capabilities as you've assessed them in the feasibility analysis, and you decide whether or not you are a go, no go, or a wait. And so you have access to this already if you have enrolled in the Minority Small Business Launch Center, and then if you have signed up for the VSU Small Business Launch Certification. If you opted for the Startup Virginia one instead and don't intend to take this one, then just send an email to us, and then we will get you a copy of this since you're participating in our programming. And then you would send your email. Let me make this larger. I know it's a really long email, but you can remember the very first part of it is simply just VSU Center for Entrepreneurship, and then at vastate365.onmicrosoft.com. And then you'll be able to get this template if you are not enrolled in the certification plan. Did that answer your question?
Completely.
Okay. All right. Sure.
Above and beyond.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. All right. So I see that Mr. Carlo has her hand raised.
Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, thank you so much that was a very involved presentation, and I'm sure other people like me got a lot out of it. I was taking notes, and it's good that I can go back to it. But my essential question is, can we also go to a place? I know this is virtual, but can we also travel to the business center?
You can. And so I was just actually talking to our new employee, our new small business consultant about that today. And so we are going to send out an email to all enrollees, letting them know about his availability. He's going to be at VSU on every Wednesday from a certain period of time. I believe we talked about from 2 until 4:30 when he do small business consultations in 30-minute increments. And you're able to choose from a virtual session phone session or a in-person session where you can come to VSU. The person that you'll be working with is also a small business consultant full-time, or I guess most of the time with the Metropolitan Business League, and he is housed at the City Point Innovation Center that's located in the Petersburg Public Library. So I think that you can reach out to him, and we will send you information about him. I would say by the beginning of next week, we'll send out information to all of our enrollees on how you can connect with him if you need assistance.
Okay, that's beautiful. And I thank you for the answer. And earlier you were referring to me, my company.
Oh,
With,
so it's kind of a whatever's the most recent memory. you often end up being my example, so that's great. so I also okay, so thank you very much for being here today. So I also see that Miss Wanteria, please correct me if I'm saying your name wrong. Miss Brown.
Yes, ma'am. Wanteria. Yes, ma'am. But you're good. I heard worse, girl.
Wanteria, I want to get it right. So
No, you're good. You're good. So my question is, I'm trying to do the modules right now, taking notes as well. But on step 1, it says identify your personal objective. On step 1, I'm trying to download the file so I can upload it to Dropbox, but it's coming up under WordPad and cutting the bottom half of like the financial statements, how much stuff gonna cost. So how do can I do it another way? Because it's not allowing me to upload it so I can fill it in to, be able to scan it back in to put in the Dropbox.
So you will need to have the Microsoft Word or the Microsoft Office suite, or there's another one that is free called Open Office that you're able to download that will function just like a Microsoft Office, and it should allow you to access the features. The reason that you want to download it in Word and not WordPad is because WordPad doesn't allow something called macros to work. So we've got spreadsheet links that are connected in Microsoft Word, and it won't work if you're using WordPad. So what you're going to need to access is openoffice.org. It's completely free, and it mirrors Microsoft Office. I'm glad you brought this up because
I learned, going and doing nursing school, I had the Google Docs and everything. So I was like, oh, shoot, it's free. So
right. And Google Docs, I would have recommended Google Docs, but what I noticed is that the macros that are in that Word document don't work in Google Docs. So most of the features for Microsoft Office work in Google Docs, but not the macros. So I think it's sure, openoffice.org, and then you can also usually get a free trial of Microsoft Office too, because it's going to work optimally in Microsoft Office. So
yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, guys.
You're welcome. All right, and I see that Miss Pershing, she has a question. May I answer it?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. And thank you, Ontario, for bringing that up, because I'm not quite there yet. So that prepares me for that. Thank you. So I'm Tina Pershing. Thank you, Miss Perry Rivers, for everything. You are so thorough with everything. So in looking at the business model, I guess my question is, if you are not distributing a product, but instead a service like I am, because I'm an independent stylist planning to open my own salon. And so when I plan to, communicate in my business model about how to distribute my services, would I more so go the route of how I would be encouraging my stylists to promote themselves to bring customers in?
No, that would be in your marketing strategy. The simplest way to think about your distribution strategy is just think of it as place, right? So how do people actually get your product? So in your case, it's going to be, sounds like, in a brick and mortar location, right?
Correct.
And
yes,
so that's all that you want to focus on. Now, I think that if you have some unique ideas associated with your marketing to encourage your stylists to get customers, then you just may want to think about that and articulate it in the marketing section. But when we're talking about, let's go back to, these core elements that you're communicating, your core value for your service would be the same sort of core value concept for a product. So what's unique about your hair salon? What's unique about the capabilities of the salon staff that you have, right? And what are the main things that you offer? So, can I get, general hairstyling, pedicures, manicures, do you understand what I mean? And what's unique about those specific products, or in your case, services that you offer to your customers. It could be based on experience, right? In your salon, you've got a very relaxing atmosphere or whatever, you get it. But here, when we talk about distribution plan, we're just talking about how you get your product into the hands of your customers. And so in your case, it would just be at your salon, right? So our products or our services will be distributed in or made available to our customers in our physical salon located in wherever it is. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. And let's see, I think I've answered all of the questions that are there. And I'm going to see if I have any in chat. I'm a little past our time. Let's see here. I don't see that I have any other questions. And so I'm so happy to have been here with you guys today. And I am excited that you guys are enrolled in the Minority Small Business Law Center.
Sorry, I have one quick question.
Sure.
These videos, this recording of this meeting right here, when will it be available? Are we able to watch it back?
Yes, in 2 to 3 days after we have hosted the events, I'll make them available online. Our administrative and marketing coordinator will make them available online, and they'll be available under event videos.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so this concludes our session. Again, my name is Dr. Patrice Perry Rivers, and feel free to reach out to us at minoritysmallbusinesslaunchcenter.com or at the email that I have sent to you guys via chat. Everyone have a safe, productive, and encouraging day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you also.
Dr. Rivers.
Thank you.
Sure, bye-bye now.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now.